Bonjour, Kinamagi and Ireland Indigenous Cast, and welcome to this production of the My Math Network. Today's lesson, Chapter 11, Lesson 7, Convert Customary Units of Capacity. By looking at our assignment from the last section from lesson 6. And you can see that one of the key things to remember, these capacities, 2 pints is equal to a cup, or 1 pint is equal to 2 cups. By the way, a cup is 8 fluid ounces, so 16 ounces is a pint. A quart is 2 pints, and a gallon is 4 quarts. And you see words like quart, quarter. There's 4 quarters in a dollar, 4 quarts in a gallon. So that's going to tell you what you're going to multiply by. So for instance, if you're going cups to pints, 4 cups would be 2 pints. You're going to divide because you're going from something smaller to something bigger. 16 quarts is 4 gallons. 8 quarts is 16 pints. And you can see now we're going from something bigger to something smaller. So it's a multiplication. 7 pints is 14 cups. 5 gallons is 40 pints. So what you'd go is from gallons to quarts and quarts to pints. 28 cups is 7 quarts. The vocabulary word is capacity, is the measure of how much a container can hold. 8 cups of water is 4 pints. 12 quarts, and if you look back up here, would be 24 pints. So 26 is greater than 24. 6 gallons is 24 quarts. So 6 gallons is less than 25 quarts. What's more exact? A quart. It's a smaller capacity, so it's going to get you closer. Remember, the smaller the unit we're using, the more specific it is. And if you're doing filling a large tub of water, would you use a quart container or a 1 gallon container? Keyword is large. You want something that's bigger, and a gallon is larger than a quart. So let's look at a sneak peek of what the assignment will look like tonight when we get done with the lesson. We're going to be doing something similar with converting customary units of capacity. And this will be very similar. You're going to see that we use abbreviations now, cup to pint, ounces to cups. Remember I said a cup is 8 fluid ounces. Notice the lack of, it's not just ounces, it's fluid ounces. Then we have quarts to gallons and quarts. So it's going to be very similar to what we did in our previous session. So let's return back. And again, this is converting customary units of capacity. And our essential question is, how can I use measurement conversions to solve real world problems? Trust me, you will use these ones plenty in the real world if you're not already. This part is not in your text. So just kind of follow along, listen, ask yourself questions. How do you know if you should use multiplication or division when converting? Well, that one's easy. If I'm going from a bigger measure of capacity, like a gallon, to a smaller, like quarts, I'm going to multiply because it's going to be more of them. Now, if I'm going for something smaller, like quart to gallon, then I'm going to divide because it's bigger, there's going to be less of them. So if you're going to have more, multiplication. If you're going to have less, division. Complete the table by writing the operation and number used to convert between the units. Pint to cup, you're multiply by 2. I'm just going to bring this up here to talk about it. Gallon to quart, multiply by 4 because there's 4 quarts in a gallon. Pint to quart, you divide by 2 because there are 2 pints in a quart. Fluid ounce to cup, you divide by 8. And again, pointing out that word fluid. A fluid ounce is different than a dry ounce. And if you don't believe me, ask my wife when I sometimes just grab the dry one and call it good. It does not make her happy. She corrects me every time, but she's right. Fluid ounces and dry ounces are not the same. Quart to pint, I'm going to multiply by 2 because there are 2 pints in a quart. All right, Garrett has an aquarium that holds 22 gallons of water. Sophia has an aquarium that holds 80 pints. How many more cups of water does Garrett's aquarium hold than Sophia's aquarium? Show the steps. Wow. So we're going to first figure out how many pints. Let's just bring it here. So Garrett, we want to figure out how many cups for each because that's what we're dividing. Garrett has 22 gallons times 4 quarts in a gallon, gives him 88 quarts. Then he's going to multiply by the 2 pints, 176, and then by 2, 352. Sophia is going to go 80 pints times 2 is 160 cups. 352 cups minus 160 cups is 192 cups. You won't get a lot of problems like that, and be thankful for that. We would have probably done something like, done pints to gallons and figured out how many more gallons it holds. That's going to be a much more common operation in your future. All right, let's get into the book. This is going to be on page 839, your packet that says Lesson 7, Convert Customary Units of Capacity. And before I even start, there are some yellow bolded words, such as capacity is the measure of how much a container can hold. And this is not using metric right now, so you're not hearing liters and milliliters. And then we also have at the bottom, a cup is equal to 8 fluid ounces. A pint is 2 cups or 16 fluid ounces. A quart is 2 pints or 32 fluid ounces. And a gallon is 4 quarts or 128 fluid ounces. Just to kind of give you kind of an equivalency, a 2-liter bottle is about 2.1 quarts. So a gallon is going to be kind of similar to 4 liters. Close, not 100% correct, but in the neighborhood. All right, so again, the expectation is that you'll fill that in as we go so that you have a resource. At the conclusion of this, I would suggest that you either write down the key concept conversions or straight up cut it out once you're done with the assignment so that you have that. It's a good tool to have. Next, if I'm moving too fast, feel free to pause the video. I'll generally, if I'm going to clear the screen, I will say something and you have a couple seconds to do it. All right, example basic. Sandra tries to drink 9 cups of water each day. How many fluid ounces of water is 9 cups? So I'm going to convert 9 cups to fluid ounces, and a cup has 8 fluid ounces. So I'm going to multiply 9 times 8. And if you're not aware, 9 times 8 is 72. So 9 cups equals 72 fluid ounces. Go ahead and there and write the 72. I'm going to move forward. Again, you see this key concept. This is also in your paper packet. And a helpful hint, a fluid ounce is different from the ounce used to measure weight. So I'm going to back up here a second so you can kind of see an equivalent. This little nail polish is about a fluid ounce. A cup is this baby bottle, which is 8 fluid ounces. Here's a pint of water, a quart of oil, and a gallon of milk. Give you a little bit of an idea. All right, so now we are on the top of page 840, the next page, with example niche. How many quarts can be made from 7 pints? So we start asking yourself, a pint equals how many quarts? That's 1. So 7 divided by 2, which is going to be 3. 3 times 2 is 6. I'm going to subtract. I get a remainder of 1. It means there's 1 pint left over. So the fraction of a quart is going to be 1/2 because we're remainder over the divisor. This has been 4. This would have been 1/4. So 7 pints equals 3 quarts and 1 pint. 3.5 quarts or 3.5. Notice that 3.5 and 3.5 are the same because 3.5 is 3 5/10. So if you're getting better with these conversions, it'll be very helpful for you, especially moving into the next school year. Let's go ahead and write those in. I'll give you a moment to do that. A few more seconds. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. Move forward here and you see the answers. And it checks out. We did well. Good job, guys and girls. So let's practice a couple here. We'll practice some right here. 3 cups is equal to how many fluid ounces? And a fluid ounce is, if you remember the conversion, is 8. Get my annotation tool. 3 times 8 is 24. So 3 cups is 24 fluid ounces. And how many cups are in a quart? And if you get stuck, look back. And you can see a quart is 2 pints. And so it's going to be 4 cups. So there's your, and that's kind of how you work your way through. 4 times 2 is 8 pints. That's 16 cups. So you could go step by step, or you could use the cumulative property, commutative property. That's 16 cups. Go ahead and write those in. I'm going to go ahead and clear the drawings. I'm going to skip that one for right now. How to compare 18 fluid ounces to 2 pints. Well, we know a pint is 16 fluid ounces or 2 cups. And 18 is greater than 16. So 18 fluid ounces is greater than 2 pints. Oh, sorry. 2 pints. Sorry. That's going to be 32 fluid ounces. So 18 is less than 2 pints. It's greater than 1 pint, but less than 2. All right, I'm going to have you practice a few. I want you to do numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7. I want you to pause the video and unpause the video when you are ready. You may pause the video now. Welcome back. Let's see how you did. 5 cups. A cup is 8 fluid ounces. 5 times 8 is 40. Quarts to gallons, we're going to divide by 4. And 4 goes into 19 4 times, so 4 gallons. The remainder is 3, so 3 quarts. 50 cups. Cups to pints, you're going to divide by 2, so it gives us 25 pints. And 22 fluid ounces, we divide by 8. That gives me 2 cups with 6 fluid ounces left over. So this is basically what you're going to be doing today. As you come back here on the worksheet, you're going to be converting. You will probably want to have access to 839 and those conversions in front of you. There's a vocabulary check for you to do at the very end. And again, those will also use the highlighted words on 839. If you have questions, please reach out to me at mireland@psychchipschool.net. Always have a minute, Gijigad, Minwa Bama P.